Hi, I'm Karl Hestер and I'm going to take you on a tour of my stables here in Gloucestershire. Anybody that's been here will know that I'm fairly obsessed with my birds. Sometimes when I'm teaching in the outdoor school, they'll be riding with 5 peacocks, 23 guinea fowl, 12 hens, and then there's a umbrella cockatoo shrieking in the background. So that is a lot of birds, and not everyone finds it as funny as I do. I'm not going to dwell any longer on my birds. I'm going to put her back on her eggs. I'm due to be a father maybe in the next week or two, so I'm just going to put her back. Here we are in my yard, and it has 18 stables. Now, of course, the reality is you build 18 stables because you have 18 horses. I have 18 stables and we have 24 horses, which I think is quite normal for any rider. They overindulge, or it's horses that we bred. So we have a few horses, mostly the young ones at neighbouring yards. I very much wanted a yard when it was built that went with the house, because the house has so much history. In fact, the front of the yard here is actually built from an old hospital that was knocked down in Gloucestershire, and we went and bought the bricks, reclaimed bricks, so that we could actually build the front of the yard to match the house. So it was also designed that the horses have bars between each stable so they actually can touch each other, because I'm very much a believer that they like interaction. So this yard is full of champions. Literally, I mean, it's full of medalists and current national champions and past national champions. And we have 30 acres of land, so have a great routine here. The younger horses all live out in the field. They come in the morning at 7 o'clock, so they can then be ridden later on in the morning. Our older horses get ridden early and then they go out for the day. Of course, keeping horses out doesn't suit everybody. It depends where you live. You know, we're very lucky here with the climate, grass, you know, and the land that we have here, that the horses can enjoy that. I mean, basically we only have like January, February, March every year, which is difficult for turnout, because that is a floodplain, because the river that runs past my house can flood very easily in the winter, so it does flood the land, which means it's very lush in the summer, but of course very wet then for that January, February, March period. So that can be a little bit of a difficult time for the horses, because they're used to such a freedom in their lifestyle. We are in the indoor arena, and as you can see, it's not so indoor because I kept one side of it open. I think that is a beautiful way to be able to ride, actually, and have an open indoor school. I know a lot of indoor schools feel very enclosed and dark. So when I built this, my first instruction was I do not want a side. I want one side left open so that it's good for air. It's great. I'm looking straight out into the outdoor school as well, so it just means that Charlotte and I we're really regularly in contact when we ride as well, because I mean, if she's riding outside and I'm inside, generally we try not to argue that much and we ride together. But if ever we feel the need to separate, I come in, she can go out, but we still can watch each other. Behind you, the wash boxes. Now I designed this here so that basically the yard would be kept basically as a safe haven for the horses almost. That's just their bedroom. Nobody else goes over there, nothing else happens over there. They eat and they sleep there. Every time they're tacked up, or every time they're going to be ridden, or every time they're going to be washed off, it's all done over here in the indoor school, so that they know that this is the workplace, but when they go over there, you know, people stay out their way and they can really chill out. So behind me you can see the outdoor arena. Now, we had to have an outdoor arena. Everyone wants an outdoor arena, but the whole point of this, obviously, this is a 60 metre by 20, so this is this is an Olympic-sized arena. Indoors, I've had to wider because it was better for the young horses, and it's more of a farm building rather than an indoor school. This is obviously to size, so that Charlotte and I can rehearse our tests, practice our tests, and do our rehearsals for any championship in here. Very often, the male peacock, who we call Captain Peacock, he sits on top of that mirror when I'm riding and makes a mess all over it, actually, half the time. So we have to get that cleaned up so I can see what's going on in the mirrors when I'm coming towards them. But I love this. This is like, just for me, it makes for a cosy setting. If animals are happy here, I think people are probably happy here. Here we are in part of the land. You can see the tributaries here of water that go down to the main river that runs past the house. Because it is so wet, you can see how lush the fields are behind me. And in fact, yeah, over there, two of our mares, that's Horty and San Floriano. She's the champion 6-year-old. She's hoping to be one of our next superstars. And the bright bay next to her is River Rise Nisa, who's Charlotte's up-and-coming small tour horse. She's just been winning her first Prix St George, so two fabulous prospects. I know it's a little bit odd sometimes. You know, people think, you know, do we really turn our horses out, and do we turn them out together? Yes, they're right there behind me. We do that. I think it's great for welfare. You know, at the end of the day, these horses work very hard for us. They travel the world. They win medals for us. They keep everybody happy, not just our spectators and, you know, the general public that want to come and see them. And it's our job to try and give them as nice a life as possible. And, you know, I love that. I come from an eventing background. It's totally normal for me to turn horses out. Charlotte's from a showing and jumping background. It's totally normal for her. You know, we're not just nervous dressage people that don't do anything else with our horses. So, you know, I love it. There's a load of paddocks to the right here where, you know, a lot of the Grand Prix horses just go out in the day. I don't think it suits them to live out because, you know, they need more energy. If they're out all night, they tend to be a little bit flat. But for the hotter horses, this works an absolute treat. To have them out overnight, they come in the morning, children look forward to being ridden. And they're easy to ride. Well, I hope you've enjoyed having a small look around my property. We love having people come here and see it. Charlotte and I are obviously very proud of it. I know she thinks I'm going to leave it all to her one day, so a good job I'm able to show it to you while it's still mine before I pass it on to her. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon.